Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today there's going to be a bit of a different video. It's going to be mostly an unboxing of some interesting products. For those of you who don't know, which is probably the majority of the audience, I recently bought a Framework laptop. This little guy right here, the 13-inch AMD version. The reason why I bring that up is because, for those of you who don't know, Framework is a company that specializes in repairability of laptops. So one of their big claims to fame is that this laptop right here, the Framework 13 and their Framework 16, is a fully repairable, and it's meant to be repaired by the consumer. One example of this are the modular ports, the expansion cards that you can see here. With the push of the button, you can pull out a card and then replace it. And you can change your loadout accordingly. So right now you can see I have, Type-C is for charging, USB-A, and then on this side I have another Type-C and an Ethernet, which serves me very well, but of course you can customize the layout. But it goes beyond these expansion cards as well. Opening up the laptop is super simple, and everything is clearly labeled with QR codes, so if you do need to replace specific parts, such as the Wi-Fi card, the motherboard, maybe the speakers, the display, it's all very easy to repair. There are instruction guides that are very easy to follow, and just in general, the process of repairing and upgrading this laptop is very consumer friendly, which is unfortunately not the standard in the laptop industry. Also, if you are interested, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see a review of this guy long term. But the reason why I bring up Framework is because Framework recently created a mystery box system. So as part of their recyclable and sustainability initiatives, they came up with a mystery box, which according to their website says that Framework mystery boxes contain a random assortment of returned parts and modules from our service centers. Rather than waste them, we want to give our community the opportunity to explore their projects and creations. These are perfect for DIYers and tinkerers who like a challenge and want to experiment. And they come in two varieties, a small box and a large box. And they say that a small box includes at least 3 assorted parts, and large boxes contain 3 assorted parts and a main board. Important to note is that they do not guarantee any of these parts to be functional, and they do not come with a warranty. And the prices is actually not terrible. A small mystery box sets you back about $20, and a large mystery box sets you back $29. So $19 and $29 respectively. So I, in my infinite wisdom, bought 2 small boxes. So this is the size of the small box. As you can see, in true Framework fashion, it's got its own little QR code there and a label. So if you wanted to reorder this box, you could scan your QR code and you'll be taken to the product page for it. So of course they'd have that. And then behind me are the contents of it. So I bought 2 small mystery boxes, and initially I had set up this unboxing to be outdoors because it's getting a little cramped in the studio, and so I did. I recorded an unboxing outdoors, but of course my framing was messed up. Hello, I'm outside today. So we're back in the studio with everything basically unboxed, and I'll go through. Spoiler alert, it's a little underwhelming. So first and foremost, Framework has heaps of these paper. I'm not exactly sure what kind of packaging it is. It's paper. I'm sure it's recyclable, but they have heaps of it. This is only maybe like a fifth of the packaging that was in the 2 boxes combined. So very sustainable, and it's also seems very durable. So kudos to Framework there. So the first item for my mystery box was this little guy. So first and foremost, all of the parts I got were enclosed in ESD bags, which is a nice touch. So this first item is an input cover. Or sorry, what am I? Not an input cover. This is a top cover. So as you can see here, this is what the top of my Framework laptop looks like. See what I mean? Now, I'm not super familiar with disassembling a laptop, but as you can see here, we've got, seems like a display ribbon cable. We've also got an antenna, but I will look and scan this QR code real quick to figure out if you're interested as well. This is that QR code looks like. I have no idea if this is in frame, but that's what it looks like. Great, this is cool. So whatever this QR code is, it's not on their website, which is awesome. That was not what I was expecting, actually. This is a little haphazard. So I was looking at this QR code. It doesn't exist on the website. There's another QR code here. There's one more QR code here for presumably the webcam microphone setup. There's one here as well for the ribbon cable for the actual display. But we're off to an interesting start. I don't know what exactly this encompasses. I'll see if I can pull up a similar product that Framework currently sells and try to compare. Second item. Again, we've got ESD bags. This is a bottom cover. So as one might be able to guess, it is a bottom cover. So you've got places to put expansion cards, and then inside, I'm going to try this QR code. I'll be surprised if it works, but hey, you never know. It says it doesn't exist. What the hell? Yeah, this is cool. So it's not cool, but that QR code doesn't exist. So that's wild to me. Looking closer at this part, it says date of manufacture 2021. There's a sticker here. It says bent. So yeah, I can see the bend. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. Let's move on. This is the last item in the first mystery box. Again, maybe the glare will eat this up, but this is a keyboard, or as Framework calls it, an input cover. So as one would expect, it's a keyboard. Looking at my own laptop really quickly for just a really brief reference. Yeah, it looks identical. It's a US layout keyboard, but I was just seeing if the function keys had changed, but they haven't. It looks identical. I'm just trying to see, is there a year on this guy? It does have a QR code, but I will be surprised if this works, to be honest. Yeah, no, that didn't work. There's a couple QR codes, because this part is multifaceted. So it's got a QR code here, which I presume is for the chassis of the cover. You got another QR code here. Not exactly sure what that would be for. And then you've got a QR code here for the touchpad. But this QR code didn't lead me anywhere, so I'm not sure what that means exactly. And I don't quite remember what mine looked like either. In terms of cabling, it looked intact, but again, I don't know if this is a functional part. So that's the end of the first mystery box, and I'll be honest, I was a little underwhelmed about the box, because I don't know if my expectations were out of whack, but I was honestly hoping for like a few expansion cards, or even if they're non-functional, I could definitely work with some expansion card chassis. But did not get that. I got parts of a laptop. And spoiler alert, the second mystery box is exactly the same thing. Surprise, it's a keyboard. So interesting thing that I just noticed. So this input cover, I think, let me just do a quick double check. The key layout looks the exact same as my current Framework. Oh no, it doesn't actually, hold on. So there's a slight difference. I don't know when the revision happened, but you'll notice that the function keys here, for F7, F8, the brightness keys, these are like transparent circles, but the on my laptop at least, those circles are filled in, so they're white suns instead of black suns, for lack of better terms. But the main thing that caught my eye, setting aside my current laptop, is this input cover includes a ribbon cable to the main board. There was no ribbon cable like that on this guy. Huh, yeah, so you'll see here, this guy has the keyboard, sorry, not keyboard, main board ribbon cable. So this guy connects the keyboard to the main board. No such cable on this keyboard, interestingly enough. Now, of course, Framework being Framework has a QR code, so you can get this ribbon cable, or at least I hope you can get this ribbon cable, otherwise this guy's pretty useless. So that's good, there's some hope there, but otherwise, oh, they do have dates here. So the old keyboard cover has a date of 12/28/2021. The new one has a date of 11/28/2021. They're the same year, a month apart. And the stickers are upside down relative to each other, which is, it's not the end of the world by any stretch, but it's just mildly annoying. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to make of it. If these work, great. I don't know. That's the thing with like these products. The main thing that was bothering me as I was opening these products is there's not an easy way to test these. I mean, yes, it's a mystery box. You run with that risk of buying a mystery box. You're going to get products that may or may not work. And even if they do work, do you actually know if they work without building a whole system? Maybe not. And so that's the risk you have to take into account when you buy stuff like this. Luckily, it wasn't super expensive. As I said, I only got I got 2 small boxes, so they were $19 each. So not a ton of money lost. And if these parts actually work, and I end up being able to build a laptop out of it, it's not a bad purchase. But there's a lot to figure out before we get there. Next up on the docket, as I said, the boxes gave me the same parts. So this next guy is a bottom cover. Oh, okay. Now that I know a little bit about how to navigate these parts, this back cover, or this bottom cover, I'm going to call it a bottom cover, it's missing speakers. Cool. That's like the obvious thing sticking out to me. Normally the speakers would be in here, and normally they'd come with the bottom cover. But in this case, they don't. That's pretty lame. Year of manufacture 2023 according to the QR code. Does this link work? Let's find out, shall we? It didn't work. it didn't work. Man, this is kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie, actually. I'm kind of a little irritated by this, just because like it comes down to a point of like, what do you actually need to make a fully functional laptop? I don't know why I'm at a loss for words for that. But like, what do you actually need to make a fully functional laptop? Because at this point, I don't know. Like, clearly I need speakers, but I only picked up on that because it was visually obvious. I don't know like what ribbon cables I need, what screws I need. Like, there isn't, as far as I'm aware, there isn't like a bill of materials out there for like what a framework laptop encompasses. So like, even if I wanted to make a laptop out of this bottom cover, I don't know what I would need for that. And that's a little worrying. Also, just in general, I don't know, Framework isn't mandated to put this, but I'd like to just have a reason as to why these things were rejected by the factory, or why they were sent out in the mystery box in the way they were. Like, what was wrong with this product? Is it just missing stuff, or was there like an actual defect? I don't know. Part of it is, again, of course, like the risk of buying mystery items. I don't know, I'm so mixed on this, honestly. Alright, as I mentioned, the last item, a top cover. Cool. I didn't pay super close attention to the top cover in the previous one, so I don't know if I'm missing anything. Ah, damn it. So there's a few things missing from this that I can see right off the bat. I'm pretty sure there's a part that goes here. It's not there. I don't know what the hell is supposed to go there. It's missing a webcam microphone module. Top cover doesn't have it. We do have a ribbon cable. I'm assuming that would go to the webcam assembly. That's my guess. We have this. I don't remember if this was on the first top cover, but this connects to presumably the display. And then these guys, are antenna, obviously, but I don't know what they correspond to. This, I believe, has a different QR code. Let me try this QR code real quick. Again, I don't think it'll work. I'll be very surprised if it does, actually. Wow! Okay, color me surprised. There is a whole guide on the top cover replacement. Not bad. We are at 1 for 6, unless I'm going to double check all the stuff after recording, and I'll have an updated counter here, but so far from what I've tried, we are at 1 for 6. Basically, if you scan this QR code, you'll get like a guide that looks like an iFixit guide. If you've ever followed an iFixit guide, it's pretty similar, called top cover replacement. And because it's like an iFixit guide, there are going to be lots of pictures, so you'll be able to see what exactly is missing from your top cover if you happen to get one in a mystery box like me. So that's good. The fact that this was the only QR code that worked in the shooting of this video, that's not good. And I get it, you can't maintain websites forever, and you can't update QR codes once they're already on a product. I get that, right? So I don't know, I don't have like a great solution to this other than relying on the consumer to Google the parts and to look deeper. And Google the way I did. So it's been the next day since the unboxing, and I compiled a list of all the QR codes that I was able to find on the parts that I unboxed, and I've compiled it into this spreadsheet here. For the avid viewer, you may notice that the boxes are switched. Basically, Mystery Box 1 in the spreadsheet is actually the second box I unboxed, and Mystery Box 2 is the first box I unboxed. I'm not quite sure why I did this, but the important thing to note is just the QR codes that I was able to successfully scan. So in Mystery Box 1, I was able to scan 10 out of the 11 QR codes that I found. The one QR code that failed was the touchpad module. Presumably, Framework has updated the touchpad since the touchpad that is in the unit that I got. I don't know what revisions changed, but you'll notice if I click the link here, this is the URL that was on that touchpad, like physically. You'll notice that it goes to a dead link. But interestingly enough, if I go back here and copy this short URL, and then I change this B to a C, I get the correct guide for the touchpad module. So I guess the way Framework is keeping track of revisions for their guides is they increment one of the letters, A, B, C, etc. That's only a guess though. That's just from one example I was able to find. Anyways, going back to the QR codes, in my second mystery box, I had less of a success rate with only 8 out of the 11 QR codes leading to valid links. The QR codes that didn't work were the top cover. The top cover is an outdated one. Framework has updated the top cover to a CNC milled one as opposed to whatever they were doing before. So that QR code that was on my top cover, at least in this one, led to a dead link. Similarly, the touchpad is also outdated, apparently, as well as the bottom cover. I guess Framework has made modifications to the bottom cover as well. So this is a little annoying. Granted, if you do hunt around Framework's website for a few minutes, you'll be able to find repair guides for the parts in general. So, and at least from my cursory looks at all the hardware that I got, all the screws and mounting holes seem to be in the same spots, so the guides should still be very valid. Anyways, moving on, I got a little more curious, and I wanted to see what would be the minimum cost for me to buy parts if I wanted to make laptops out of the parts that I got in these mystery boxes. And so right here you can see that this is the list of all of the parts that I would need to get a laptop up and running, and then these are the cheapest prices that were present on Framework's marketplace. Again, you could probably shop around elsewhere, especially for the memory and storage, but I just wanted to make it easy and source all of my parts from the Framework marketplace. And you'll notice that that comes out to $697, which is a lot of money. It's a pretty steep asking price, honestly, for a laptop, but that's Framework has never been a budget brand, right? They're very much for the tinkerer, and there is going to be a price to pay for it. Am I justifying it a little bit? Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm still not impressed with my mystery box, to be completely clear, but you know, it is what it is. At least this is my situation. This is kind of what I have to deal with now. I have a conclusion that I filmed during the unboxing, but I guess a pre-conclusion to that would be, if I had to do this again, I would honestly go with maybe a small mystery box and a large mystery box, because the large mystery box includes a mainboard. Again, no guarantees if the mainboard's going to work, but at the very least, it's $40 for the large mystery box, and you're guaranteed a mainboard, which, as you can see from my spreadsheet here, that's the main chunk of change for building out the rest of a laptop for my mystery boxes at least. So maybe that's what I'll do. And honestly, at least for me, I know it's kind of a gamble, but I might just wait until the large mystery boxes come back in stock and snag one of those, just so I can at least get a main board for $40, if nothing else. And again, I know part of it is just like, this is a mystery box, this is the risk you take as a consumer buying a mystery box. Maybe I just wasn't ready to buy mystery boxes. I don't know, maybe I expected more. Maybe I was hoping Framework would do something a little different with their mystery boxes, but clearly they aren't.